this video, I'm going to answer our the questions of our first exam, which is discussing your insight and learning about the communication process and different types of communication. My insight and learning of the our topic is that first it starts from the sender who has the idea that want to convey or to express other. What I've learned is that how does an idea get from the sender to the receiver, and that the message come from, which is the third component of communication process, that the idea is being communicated. But the question is how the sender transmit his message to the receiver. But before that, the sender must encode the message. Encoding is simply means packing your message, and we have three options to encode our message, which is verbal and non-verbal, or both. For example, I'm making an excuse letter to my professor to excuse myself from every Saturday class. So the next component is that uh, channel, so which simplify how the receiver receive the message. In my case, I use letter. And now another question arises: how the receiver receive and interpret the message that being sent. So, human has a five channels, which is our five senses. So in an example, I use the letter. Therefore, the receiver use her sight or her sight to decode the message. As what I've said, if encoding is packing the message, here decoding is unpacking unpacking the message. After that, we have to wait for any response, and that is called feedback, in response that the receiver gave it back to the sender. Last component is the noise, which means that anything can complicating the message. Therefore, I completely understand how the communication cycle process works. Lastly, the different types of communication. Actually, understand that three types of communication, which is group, public, and mass. What I'm going to emphasize here is that is is the rest, which is interpersonal and interpersonal. Actually, I'm having trouble with interpersonal and interpersonal. I thought they have the same meaning, maybe because they have similar sounds. Therefore, I'm having difficult time to deal with this. But when I read the definition closely of both words, I found out that they are not similar. When we say intra means out, I mean in. Interpersonal is a communicator in internal internal use of language or thoughts, meaning only person only person internal senses are involved. It is a communication with oneself, and so only one person. So example is that sometimes we are talking ourselves. So while interpersonal is opposite of interpersonal communication, it is exchange of information between two or more people, meaning it is supported by verbal and non-verbal, and it always been two or more persons. So that's all po, ma'am.